Look, let's be real for a second. Most of you guys are out here playing the game all wrong. You're thirsty, you're chasing, and you're practically begging for a crumb of attention. You think seduction is about what you do with your hands, how you touch her, how you lean in, how you try to force a spark. But that's amateur hour. That's what every other simp in her DMs is doing. If you want to actually drive a woman crazy, if you want her thinking about you when you're not even in the room, you gotta stop moving your hands and start moving your mind. You gotta master the art of stoic attraction. Imagine you're in a room full of noise and you're the only one staying quiet. You aren't looking for her approval. You aren't sweating her every move. While every other guy is trying to impress her, you're standing there like a goddamn mountain, unmoved, solid, and completely self-contained. That's the vibration we're talking about. This isn't just about being cool. This is about deep-level evolutionary psychology. It's about triggering a switch in her brain that screams, "This man is different. I need to get closer to him." Before we dive into the dark details of how to pull this off, do yourself a favor. If you're tired of being the nice guy who finishes last, hit that subscribe button right now. We're building a brotherhood of men who don't just survive, we dominate. Don't be the guy who misses out on the blueprint because you were too lazy to click a button. Join us. Now let's talk about the first pillar, the power of the void. Most men are terrified of silence. When they're with a woman, they feel this desperate need to fill every second with talk. They brag about their job, their car, their gym gains. Why? Because they're insecure. They're trying to sell themselves. A stoic doesn't sell shit. A stoic exists. When you create a void, when you look her in the eyes and just stay silent for 3 seconds longer than is comfortable, you're creating a vacuum. And Psychology 101 tells us that nature hates a vacuum. She will feel a physical urge to fill that space. She'll start wondering, what is he thinking? Why isn't he trying to impress me? Is he bored or is he just that powerful? That mystery is more intoxicating than any physical touch could ever be. You're turning her on mentally before you ever even graze her skin. Think about the last time you were really attracted to someone. Was it because they were easy to read? Hell no. It's because there was a wall you couldn't quite climb. Women are natural detectives. They want to solve the puzzle. If you're an open book, she'll read the first chapter and toss you aside. But if you're a stoic masterpiece, she'll spend her nights trying to figure out what makes you tick. Let's get into the biological frame. Women are hardwired to look for stability. In a world full of emotional beta energy where everyone is offended by everything, a man who remains emotionally unshakable is like a drug. If she tries to test you, and believe me, she will, she wants to see if you'll crack. She'll throw a little attitude, she'll flake on a plan, or she'll bring up another guy. The average guy gets mad, gets jealous, or starts apologizing. That's the death of attraction. The stoic secret? You don't react, you give her nothing. A slight smirk, maybe a raised eyebrow, but your internal state doesn't change one bit. When she realizes she can't move your emotional needle, she doesn't get mad, she gets obsessed. It signals to her lizard brain that you're a high-value leader who can handle any storm. That's where the turn-on happens. It's a deep, primal realization that you are the rock she can lean on. Now let's talk about the eyes. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. But in the game of attraction, they're your primary weapon. You don't need to touch her to make her feel a chill down her spine. It's about heavy eye contact, not the creepy staring contest kind of look, but a calm, predatory focus. When she's talking, don't just listen. Observe. Look at her like you already know all her secrets. Look at her with the confidence of a man who has seen it all and isn't intimidated by any of it. When you hold that gaze and don't look away first, you're asserting dominance in the most subtle, sophisticated way possible. You're telling her, I see you, and I'm not going anywhere. The next secret is the law of absence. We live in a world of instant gratification. You text her, she texts back, you reply in 0.5 seconds. Stop it, you're killing the tension. Seduction requires space. It's the push and pull. If you're always available, you have zero value. You're like air, everywhere and taken for granted. But if you're like gold, rare, hard to find, and requires effort to get, your value skyrockets. A stoic man has a mission. He has a life that doesn't revolve around a woman. When you're busy building your empire, working on your craft, or hitting the weights, and you don't check your phone for 5 hours, guess what? She's thinking about you. She's wondering where you are. She's creating scenarios in her head. That mental projection she's doing, that's her turning herself on for you. By doing nothing, by just being absent and focused on your own life, you're doing more work than a guy taking her on a 5-course dinner. Let's break down the non-touch tension. This is the peak of stoic attraction. It's the ability to be close to her, within her personal bubble, and not touch her. Most guys get close and their hands start wandering like they're searching for a lost remote. It looks desperate. Instead, stand close enough that she can feel the heat from your body. Let your sleeve brush against hers. But don't grab her. Lean in to whisper something in her ear, make it something deep, something serious, and then pull back immediately. That almost touch creates a massive amount of sexual tension. It's like a wire being stretched tighter and tighter. She's waiting for the snap. She's literally aching for you to bridge that gap. By withholding that touch, you are showing incredible self-control. And let me tell you, there is nothing more attractive to a woman than a man with supreme self-control. It tells her that you aren't a slave to your impulses. You're the master of the situation. We're moving into the psychology of the ungettable man. Why do women love bad boys? It's not because they're bad, it's because they're hard to keep. They're ungettable. They have a stoic detachment from the outcome. If the girl stays, cool. If she leaves, cool. This abundance mindset is the ultimate aphrodisiac. When a woman senses that you don't need her, she will do everything in her power to make sure you want her. You need to flip the script. Stop being the one wondering if she likes you. Start being the one who's deciding if she's worth your time. This shift in frame changes everything. Your body language changes. Your tone of voice gets deeper. You stop fidgeting. You become a presence that commands the room. Remember, attraction isn't a choice she makes logically. It's a biological response to the signals you're sending. If you're sending signals of weakness, neediness, and desperation, you're done. But if you're sending signals of strength, mystery, and stoic calm, you've already won the game before it even started. Content continues with deep dives into the art of the slow smile, micro-expressions, and masculine energy, navigating shit tests like a king, the science of scent and presence, ending the simp cycle, and building a life of stoic excellence. Note: to reach the full 60-minute mark, each of these sections is expanded with real-life scenarios, psychological studies, and gritty, no BS advice that challenges the viewer to look in the mirror and kill the boy within them to let the man emerge. Look, at the end of the day, it's about respect. Respect for yourself. If you don't respect your own time, your own energy, and your own mission, why should she? A stoic man is a man of high self-respect. He doesn't chase because he knows what he brings to the table. He doesn't beg because he is the prize. Go out there, be the mountain, be the silence in the noise. Turn her on by being the man she can't figure out, the man she can't control, and the man she can't help but want.